Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to talk about the Leuchtturm1917 versus the Moleskine journals. As a journal lover, the struggle of choosing between the Leuchtturm1917 and the Moleskine is very hard. The reason for this is because both are very high quality in my opinion, but they both have their similarities. However, there are some factors that you should consider before you buy one of these pretty but expensive notebooks. I also want to add that I'm going to do separate lists for people who are looking for a simple journal and another one for those who want to buy a new sketchbook. Part 1. For journaling purposes, I'm going to take a regular A5 size hardcover notebook. The number of pages. For the Moleskine, the number of pages is 240, while the Leuchtturm1917 has 9 pages more. As for the paper thickness, both are very similar in my opinion, and it's mostly see-through if you use ink pen, but if you use a ballpoint pen, I think you can get away with more. The surface of the notebooks are very different. For the Moleskine, it's mostly shiny and ink can be smudged easily. For the Leuchtturm, it's matte and it's nicer to use a black matte ink pen on it. There are differences in the numbering of the pages. For the Moleskine, there's no numbering, which is a bummer if you want to write a table of contents. For example, I use a Leuchtturm for writing out my YouTube scripts and it helps me to orient within the journal. For the Leuchtturm, it's numbered, however it's a setback considered you have less space to write because the Leuchtturm uses different margin as it is shown here. As you can see, it leaves the space on the top and the bottom, which might be a setback for people who likes it when the whole page is covered. For the Moleskine, the margin is different, there are no empty spaces. There are some further points that you have to consider. The variety you can choose from. For the Leuchtturm, there are some variety. For example, they sell calendars, jot books, bullet journals, and even softcover journals in many sizes. However, as I've seen with the Moleskine, the range of the variety is wider with special editions. For example, watercolor books, music books, even art logbooks can be found on their website. Part 2. For sketchbook purposes. The page sizes. For the Moleskine it's narrower, while for the Leuchtturm it's wider, as you can see it here. The thickness of the paper is slightly different for both journals, although both have acide-free papers. The paper surface is still a bit shiny for the Moleskine and the pen glides easier. For the Leuchtturm, the paper surface is matte and there's a bit more texture to it, but it's almost identical except for the shiny finish. The number of the sketchbook pages are a bit different from each other. The Leuchtturm has 96 pages, while the Moleskine only has 88. The paper color for the Moleskine is a bit yellowish. It reminds me of old times when the paper turns yellow over time. However, for the Leuchtturm, the paper color is white And I also recommend this if you prefer seeing the true color of your media. As for the bleed through, I think that both paper needs something that soaks up the excess of the ink, because for me, it usually bleeds through. There are differences between the bookmarks as well. The Moleskine has only one bookmark, while the Leuchtturm has two. My opinion is that I prefer both, but if I had to choose, I would go with the Moleskine because I realized I usually lean towards that to draw in. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please follow me for more similar videos.